I'm Sarah Colvin, and we're standing here outside the West Barnstable Fire Department with Fire Chief Joe Maruca. Joe, thank you so much for inviting us over to your lovely part of town.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah,
so we're talking a little bit about Flag Day, and that's coming up on June 14th. What can you tell me about Flag Day? What is this day all about?
Well, in this case, Friday, June 14th is Flag Day. Flag Day is one of those holidays that doesn't happen on Mondays only. It moves throughout the year, and it's always on the 14th. And it is a celebration of the United States. It's a celebration of our flag. It's a holiday that has probably had its ups and downs over the last 100 years. And it seems to be gaining a resurgence in the country. And we do a very kind of old-fashioned ceremony here in West Barnstable every Flag Day.
And it's not really about a day off. It's not an official federal holiday, but it is one of those days in which you have something to recognize.
It's a formal day of recognition by the federal government, but it's not a holiday like Memorial Day or Labor Day or 4th of July. It's not on that scale.
Indeed. Do we know why it's on June 14th? Is there a specific something to that day?
I'm sure there is, and if I thought about it before you arrived, I would have looked it up, and because there is some significance to the day, but you've caught me off guard on being able to recite that.
That's totally okay. I did not know the answer to that question either. So let's talk a little bit about before we get into what you're going to be doing on this Flag Day celebration, about perhaps some proper respect for the flag. Obviously, the United States flag, the American flag, is a symbol of our country, and there are some respect. There's some rules that go along with that.
Basic, rules. It's funny in preparing for Flag Day every year, I discover there's a whole bunch of rules and myths and opinions, and there isn't as much there isn't a true standard. The military has a standard, the civilian services have a standard, the federal government, Congress has a standard, the state has a standard. The flag goes up and down at half-mast here almost on a weekly basis, depending on which government agencies decided it should go up and down.
Who's making the request?
But some of the basics are that the flag shouldn't touch the ground when it's being carried. The flag should be raised slowly and respectfully up and down the pole when you're placing it. The flag should either be illuminated at night. The flag should be an all-weather fabric as opposed to cotton if you're going to fly it in bad weather. Tend to be the standard things that roll along.
Sure. See, now there's one that I thought. Now I thought it was respectful to take the flag down if it was going to be bad weather, but I guess if it's an
all-weather material, but if you're running cotton flags, they should come down in bad weather because they'll get damaged.
Indeed.
Cotton will not hold up as well. But
let's talk a little bit about disposal of the flag. I think that's something interesting and something that will be a part of the ceremony. So what's the proper way to dispose of the flag?
Well, it's interesting because the flag disposal ceremony isn't necessarily what Flag Day is about. This is kind of a West Barnstable combining of two traditions into one day because it made some sense for us. The American flag should be disposed of in a ceremony, a solemn ceremony that burns the flag. And this has been traditionally done by veterans groups and scouting organizations throughout the country. And some of them do it on Flag Day, some of them do it on the 4th of July, some of them just do it on a Sunday afternoon in August. There's no rhyme or reason to it sometimes. But a lot of these organizations have had, for one reason or another, have had trouble doing it regularly or it's kind of fallen out of favor. And so when we created this event, I got to give Chris Clark from West Barnstable the credit. This was really her creation. Was to combine these two events and do the flag burning ceremony. So that's part of what we do. And all throughout the year, people drop flags off here at the fire station. So by next Friday, we should probably have stuffed in all of our corners of this building somewhere around 3,000 flags.
Wow.
Yes.
I was thinking a couple of hundred, 3,000 flags.
When we first started this, I figured, oh, we'll get a couple dozen flags. And it's usually around 3,000 flags a year that we've been disposing
That's a huge
of.
number.
It's because there's a huge demand for what to do with these old flags. People have them all over the place.
Right.
And once they find out about this, they show up with trash bags full of flags here sometimes.
Right, because you can't throw it away, but
Right.
of course once it becomes tattered, you're really not supposed to fly it, and I'm actually
Correct.
thinking about the one that usually hangs in front of my house that I can probably bring over to you and add to your pile before the 14th.
You can buy them, people can bring their flags on the 14th. They don't have to drop them off here. We encourage people to come to the ceremony and participate. And there'll be a point in the ceremony where people who've brought their own flags can bring them and put them in the fire. So we really, this has kind of become a cooperative event between the fire department, the West Barnstable Civic Association, Meeting House Farm across the street, which is where we do the event, and the Explorer Post 294, which is our scouting and junior firefighter group here at the fire station.
So it really gets your whole community together, and we've been talking a little bit about the flag ceremony. Let's talk about a little bit more about the event. So it's on Friday, June 14th, which is of course Flag Day. It starts at 5:30.
5:30, right across the street from the fire station at Meeting House Farm on Route 149, and it lasts about an hour. You know, the actual ceremony piece of it doesn't take that long to do. We have our local Daisy Scouts troop is going to come and do the national anthem. We have somebody to sing America the Beautiful. One of our firefighters plays taps. We build a giant bonfire, and then after the ceremony's over, the Explorers Scouts spend a lot of time burning the 3,000 flags.
Now, how long does it take to burn 3,000
It takes about an hour. They burn, because most of them that come in today are made of nylon, rayon, products that are really petroleum.
Right.
You'd be amazed how fast and furiously
Quickly.
these things burn. I try to, when we do the ceremonial burning of the first flag, I try to find an older cotton flag because it makes for a better ceremony.
Right, than just a
Than just a whoosh, the way some of these things go up.
Exactly. Now, from a firefighter perspective, burning flags at home is probably something you don't want to do.
Yeah, we try to recommend people do things in a safe manner, and this is a good way to do it.
Absolutely.
You know, so that you don't get yourself in trouble. And burn your backyard down.
Right. So is anyone invited to the ceremony?
Sure,
on June 14th?
anybody can come on the 14th. We'd be happy to have you, and we'll have it's always an interesting ceremony, and we usually have a good time. And it's a friendly, small towny kind of event. So it's very simple, and we haven't let it get very complicated.
Right.
So it's simple and
Nice
easy
and
to
simple.
do. Yeah.
Well, Joe, thank you so much
Okay.
for letting us come
Thank
over here
you.
and talk with you.
Enjoy.
And we will see
Have
you
fun.
on the 14th. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have
Thank
fun.
you.
All right.
Joe Marucco, of course, Chief of the West Barnstable Fire Department. I'm Sarah Colvin.